Pairing the Space Ones and the Everyday headphones is equally easy. Both arrive in pairing mode, only requiring one to turn them on and then head over to your device's Bluetooth settings. Since I can't really record a headphone audio test, I figured the best I could do was listen to the same tracks on all headphones and then give my subjective opinion. It should come as no surprise that the Sony XM4s sound the best, with nice deep bass, punchy mids, and clear highs. But that's not really answering much. What we're trying to figure out is how much better the Sonys are. In general, I found the Soundcore Space Ones to have great highs with slightly muted mids and decent bass, while the Raycons also had clear highs, muted mids, and slightly worse bass. Overall, if we were to claim the Sonys as a reference point, I'd say the Soundcores are 80% as good, while the Raycons would be somewhere around 70. Next, I wanted to have a listen to each's passive and active noise cancellation, so I flipped on a small vacuum about 15 feet away and went back and forth. My thoughts here are that the Sonys and the Soundcores are roughly equal in terms of passive noise isolation. In other words, when they're off. The Raycons came in third place, but that's likely more a result of me not being able to get a great seal with them. More on that later. When we flip on active noise cancellation, the Sonys set the bar at almost any price point. However, both the Soundcores and the Raycons did remarkably well. If we once again assume the XM4s are the reference point, I would say that both of the cheaper options were 75% as good. I tried to quantify this with a little homemade testing box consisting of a sealed-in decibel meter with a couple of holes to simulate ears, but in reality, each set of headphones only reduced the measured sound level by a decibel or two, so I don't consider these results particularly convincing. It's as if something else is going on audio-wise that I'm not able to measure with a simple decibel meter. Alright, so controls on these Raycons, pretty straightforward. No touch sensitive controls or anything like that. They're going to be all sort of hard pressed buttons. 3.5mm over here on the left. On the right, we have a plus and minus for volume, power in the center. The plus and minus can also be long pressed for skipping tracks. The power button can be long pressed for pausing tracks as well as answering calls. USB-C for recharging, and then we have our noise cancellation modes over here on the right as well. Controls on the Space Ones, we've got a few options here. Not all of them are super intuitive. Basically over here on the left is the only side that's touch enabled. Basically you can hold it and it will actually lower the volume on whatever you're listening to so you can speak, ordering a coffee or something like that. Important to note, it doesn't actually pause the content, it just lowers the volume. Over here on our audio controls, we have plus and minus for volume. We can also long press either of these to advance tracks. Then over here, we do have the plus and minus buttons. Plus and minus raises lower volumes, just like you would expect. We can also long press each of these to skip tracks. Then over here on our play pause button, single press does exactly that. You can also long press it to enable voice assistant. For example, on my iPhone, I was able to access Siri by doing that. So super nice touch there. Then over here, the power button and the noise cancellation don't really have secondary functions. Basically 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off. 3.5mm in, USB-C for charging, and then toggle between the noise cancellation modes, basically transparency off and noise canceling. In addition to the headphones' physical controls, the Soundcores, like the Sonys, offer a polished app. With it, we can do things like update firmware, toggle noise cancellation modes, and adjust the equalizer. It's very nice. Finally, the Soundcores have an in-ear sensor that will detect when you place and remove the headphones, which will in turn pause and resume tracks. Nice. Worked. Weight-wise, the Sonys come in at 251 grams, the Soundcores 261, and the Raycons 268. So build quality impressions on the Soundcore Space One here. Not amazing or anything. It does feel a little plasticky if I'm being honest. Nice soft headband up here. Pretty clicky hinges there, which is also kind of nice. Also, this rotating cup makes it very, very easy to get a comfortable fit on that. but it does feel a little plasticky. So some of these joints do have a little bit of play in them, so they don't really have the build quality of like the Bose QC45s or anything like that. They don't feel bad or anything like that, but you definitely do kind of notice the price point difference when you're just kind of handling them. So general fit, finish, and build quality impressions on these Raycon Everydays are actually very good. It's the first thing I noticed about them when I pulled them out of the box. They do feel robustly built, and I'm sort of keeping price in mind there. Speaking strictly subjectively, I would almost put them on par build quality wise with like the Bose QC45s. I do find them a little bit hard to get a comfortable fit on. They don't have a particularly smooth articulation on these ear cups. So in my experience, they have been a little bit hard to get a comfortable fit on, whereas like the Sony XM4s fit perfectly, and even those Soundcore Space Ones fit great. Probably my complaint on these is the fit, but build quality, surprisingly fantastic. Finally, I went ahead and made calls to the same person to get their impression of the microphone quality. Perhaps surprisingly, the Sonys were the worst, while both the Soundcores and the Raycon sounded, in her words, pretty good. Score 1 for the cheaper options. Alright, fit on the Space Ones. It's really quite excellent. These articulating ear cups make it really easy. Fit's honestly going to be pretty personal. A lot of people might find this very comfortable. Other people might find them uncomfortable. Me personally, very, very good fit on the Space Ones. Fit on the XM4s. Really excellent. They articulate freely and move in a couple different directions. Also very soft ear pads, soft headband. So nothing but good things to say about the fit over here on the XM4s. Fit on the Raycon Everydays, for me, it's not a great fit. I just find they sit at kind of an awkward angle on my head, and they don't articulate very smoothly either. In fact, it's funny, this one's labeled left, this one's labeled right, and I put them on, and I can't help but think they actually fit better if you wear them backwards. I don't know there's a technical reason why you couldn't. If there's some highly stereo sound, that might get a little awkward. But again, fit is such a weird personal thing. It's kind of like trying to review fit on clothes. It's going to be different on everybody, so it's kind of hard for an objective statement there. But for me personally, both the Sonys and the Soundcores fit fantastic, but I would probably pass on the Raycons just as it applies to my head. In the beginning of this video, I said I was going to try and answer 2 questions. Which of the cheaper options is the better buy? And can you get anywhere close to Sony quality for about 1/3 of the price? In response to question 1, if it were my money, I would purchase the Soundcore Space Ones over the Raycon Everydays. They had slightly better sound quality, similar noise cancellation, better controls, a better fit, and nice app-based customization. Build quality is about the only metric I'd say was better on the Raycons. As far as question number 2 goes, yes, I think you can get near Sony quality for a lot less money. Obviously, the Sony XM4s are better than either budget option in just about every way. It's just a matter of diminishing returns. The Sonys cost about 3 times what the others do, but I'd say overall they're maybe 30% better. So, if you travel a lot, wear them all the time, or just don't mind the extra costs, then sure, the Sonys are fantastic. But for casual users, or those looking for a great value proposition, neither the Raycons nor the Soundcores will disappoint.